Gemini, sit down for a moment, close your eyes and listen. The energy that surrounds you at this moment is in constant motion, as if the wind were whispering secrets that only you can decipher. As I spread the tarot cards on the table, the air fills with a vibration that announces changes, revelations, and decisions that will mark a before and after on your path. The first card that presents itself is the Magician, a symbol of your innate ability to transform what you touch, to open doors with the right word, and to manifest what seems unattainable. It is no coincidence that this card appears now. Your moment to take control is approaching. However, the cards warn you, not everything that glitters will be gold, and your discernment will be your greatest treasure in the coming days. I see in your birth chart that Mercury, your ruling planet, is in a particularly intense angle with Neptune. This brings a fascinating mixture of intuition and confusion. You will feel that your dreams and hunches are stronger than ever, but you could also fall into illusions if you do not pay attention to the real signs. The tarot confirms this with the presence of the moon, indicating that you will need to distinguish between what is truth and what is a projection of your desires or fears. This energy, well used, can help you connect deeply with your inner voice and open yourself to important revelations. In love, the vibration is dual, like your nature. For those who are in a relationship, the cards show that there are pending conversations, perhaps about long-term plans or about emotions that have not yet been expressed. The Four of Cups appears to remind you that you cannot take what you have for granted, and that love feeds on constant attention and care. If there is distance, it is not definitive. Mercury brings with it the ability to build bridges, but it depends on you to choose words that unite, not separate. For those who are single, the energy is one of openness, but with caution. The Hermit suggests that the next important encounter will not be casual, but a purposeful connection, perhaps with someone who shares your intellectual concerns or your desire to explore the world. Regarding money, the tarot shows a phase of reconstruction. You may have recently felt that resources were not flowing as you would like, but the appearance of the Six of Pentacles indicates that the balance will level out. An unexpected income, a returned favor, or a project that seemed stalled could give you relief. However, the cards advise avoiding impulsive spending, especially on things that only satisfy a fleeting whim. Your birth chart points to a favorable transit of Venus in your financial house, which will allow you to attract economic opportunities if you act with strategy and long-term vision. In work, the cards open with the King of Wands, symbol of leadership and vision. This indicates that you will have the opportunity to assume a more active role or propose ideas that will be heard and valued. If you have been waiting for an opportunity to showcase your talent, this is your sign to do so. Nevertheless, the tarot also shows the Five of Swords, warning of possible tensions or misunderstandings with colleagues or superiors. Your mission will be to remain calm, use your wit, and remember that sometimes the smartest victory is the one that requires no direct confrontation. Your power color for this cycle is golden yellow, a shade that not only reflects your bright and communicative nature, but also acts as a magnet for prosperity and mental clarity. Wearing this color, whether in your clothing, accessories, or even in the elements that surround you, will enhance your energy and remind you that the sun is always present, even behind the clouds. In the spiritual and general realm, the cards show a period in which it will be essential that you listen more to your heart and less to external noise. The presence of the Ace of Cups in your reading is a blessing. It speaks of a new emotional beginning, of the possibility of opening yourself to experiences that nourish your soul. It may be a new hobby, a trip, or even a friendship that inspires you. The tarot invites you to nurture those seeds, because from them will sprout the blessings you have been waiting for. As for lucky numbers, the cards and the stars agree on 3, 7, 14, and 22. These numbers vibrate with your energy and could appear in dates, addresses, amounts, or meaningful coincidences that confirm you are on the right path. If you see them repeatedly, take it as a sign that the universe is aligning pieces in your favor. The energy surrounding you in these days is one of transition and creation. This is not the time to remain still, but to take the reins of what you want to manifest. The tarot shows me that although some tests may seem hard, they are there for you to discover what you are really made of. Your resilience and your ability to adapt will be your best allies. The Chariot appears toward the end of the reading, indicating that you will have the drive necessary to move forward, as long as you keep your direction clear and do not let yourself be distracted by side paths that do not lead you to your true destination. At this moment, I want you to keep this phrase, and write it in the comments as a decree so that its strength multiplies. I open my paths to abundance, love, and clarity, and the universe responds with infinite blessings. This decree not only connects you with positive energy, but also acts as a conscious call to the universe so that opportunities come to you. The cards have spoken, and now, as I shuffle them again, I feel how the energy concentrates in your hands, even though you are listening to this through a screen. The vibration is more intense, as if the air were charged with static electricity, announcing that something big is about to happen. The tarot now reveals the major arcana of the star, an unmistakable sign of hope and renewal. This card shines with the promise that the things that seem uncertain today will find their course, as long as you keep your faith in yourself alive. The star reminds you that you are a beacon for others, even though you sometimes forget your own brightness. This is not the time to minimize your light to please others. It is time to shine in all your splendor. In your birth chart, the transit of Mercury in conjunction with Jupiter brings a boost of mental expansion. This means that your creativity will be at its peak, and the ideas that arise now could open doors that you once thought were closed. Do not dismiss them for seeming too big. The universe is conspiring for them to materialize. However, Pluto in a tense aspect warns you that certain changes will come with a need to let go of old beliefs and people who no longer fit with your new vibration. This could bring moments of nostalgia or confusion, but they are a necessary part of the process. In love, the energy intensifies. If you are in a relationship, the Lover's card appears in your reading, and not only because of your sign. Here it represents important decisions. Do you want to continue building on the same foundation, or is it time to rethink the dynamic? For some Geminis, this will be the moment when deep conversations become inevitable, and although there may be tension, there is also the potential for renewal and stronger commitment. If you are single, the presence of the Knight of Cups indicates that someone with a romantic and dreamy energy is approaching. This person may not be what you had imagined, but their arrival will have an important purpose in your life: to teach you something about self-love and giving without expectations. Economically, the cards show a period in which you must apply more strategy than impulse. The Eight of Pentacles appears as a reminder that your talent and dedication are the true keys to prosperity. This is not a time to bet everything on a stroke of luck, but to build step by step. Your birth chart indicates that Venus, still favoring your finances, will make an aspect with Saturn that will push you to be more disciplined with your resources. If you manage to balance your desires with reality, the result will be sustained growth that will allow you to enjoy your achievements with peace of mind. At work, the energy presents itself as an exciting challenge. The tarot reveals the Three of Wands, which speaks of expansion, of looking toward new horizons. Proposals may arise that involve moving out of your usual zone, even changing work environments or taking on projects that require skills you have not yet fully developed. This is a direct invitation from the universe to dare. However, the Two of Swords is also present, warning that you will have to make quick decisions and that you will not always have all the information at the moment. Here, your ability to adapt and learn on the go will be key. Your color in this phase remains anchored in shades that enhance your intellect and your communication. Sapphire blue shows up in the reading as a powerful ally to protect your energy and strengthen your voice. Wearing this color at key moments, such as meetings, interviews, or important conversations, will help you project security and confidence, while maintaining the calm necessary to make good decisions. In your general life, the tarot shows that this is a period to reconnect with your most authentic passions. The Ace of Wands card appears as a spark that ignites new ideas and projects. Do not ignore that sudden inspiration that may come in dreams, conversations, or moments of solitude. These creative sparks are direct messages from your soul and your guides, pushing you toward a future more aligned with who you really are. This is also a favorable time for travel, whether physically or through learning new cultures, languages, or philosophies. The lucky numbers that vibrate with you in this phase are 5, 11, 19, and 33. These numbers could appear at key moments, as confirmations that your decisions are being guided. Do not take them as mere coincidences. In the language of the universe, nothing is casual. The cards and the stars agree that right now you are at a point where life is asking you to consciously choose in which direction you want to move. There is no room for prolonged indecision, because energy that does not move becomes stagnant. The tarot closes this part of the reading with the Sun card, an omen of success, joy, and fulfillment. This does not mean that everything will be perfect, but that you will have the ability to illuminate any shadow with your determination and your positive attitude. I want you to repeat and write again in the comments, reinforcing the previous decree and adding strength to this moment. I shine with my own light and attract opportunities that enrich my life in every way. By writing it, you not only declare it, but also sow it in the vibration of your life so that it germinates with power. Gemini, I continue shuffling while I hear you breathe on the other side of time in the screen, and I feel how your energy field adjusts to a new tune. The third card that crowns this phase is the High Priestess, and with her a portal of fine, silent intuition opens, one that does not shout or demand, but only invites you to look with more awakened eyes at what was always there. It is a sign that, although your mind runs at 1,000, your compass now will be sensitivity. More vivid dreams, hunches that arrive like whispers, encounters that seem casual but have the precision of a divine appointment. The High Priestess converses with your birth chart as if they were old friends. Mercury, your ruler, activates the desire to understand everything, and she answers that not everything is understood with words, that sometimes chosen silences are enough. She proposes a deal. If you quiet yourself a little outwardly, you will hear much more inwardly. Temperance then enters and brings that balance you had been searching for without admitting it. You are mutable air, you expand, you duplicate yourself, you fragment into 1,000 curiosities. But now life offers you an alchemy, blending what you love with what is convenient, what you dream of with what you can sustain, the spark of impulse with a calm of strategy. In your astrological wheel, I perceive a fire triangle that boosts your initiative and a gentle water that returns tenderness and patience. Act without rushing, feel without drowning. This is the tone that spills over all your areas, starting with love. In love, there are stories that close with dignity and others that flourish because they are watered with presence. If you are in a relationship, the tarot shows moments of honest negotiation. Not negotiating your essence, but negotiating routines, expectations, and timing. The Queen of Swords lends you her clarity to say what you need without blaming or defending yourself. The Two of Cups, in parallel, promises complicity when you dare to ask for what truly makes you feel good. If you are single, the Knight of Wands appears at the corner of a trip, a course, or a new hobby that takes you out of the usual. Someone with a restless gaze and easy laughter may knock on your door just when you stop watching the clock. That encounter does not come to save you, you don't need it, but to vibrate at your rhythm and remind you that desire is also a language. In money, your reading smells of fertile earth. The Page of Pentacles brings news, small proposals that, if nurtured, can turn into concrete fruits. It could be a freelance project, an agreement, a commission, a new channel of income, or the opportunity to learn something that will later be well paid. The Wheel of Fortune spins in your favor but with a nuance. It is not about isolated strokes of luck, but about aligned micro-decisions that steadily build value. Here the Six of Wands wants to assure you that every step you take with order is celebrated on the material plane. Just don't get distracted by someone else's shine. Your birth chart whispers loving discipline. Naming your goals, calculating, reviewing, adjusting. Not out of fear, but from the elegance of someone who respects their time and talent. If there were expenses that weighed on you, the Eight of Pentacles places you back at the workbench with a smile. You are going to refine, systematize, simplify. And the simpler you make your financial flow, the wider it opens. Work is illuminated with the Three of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Teamwork and leadership. They invite you to use your ability to connect, to translate complex ideas and make them understandable, to see the bridges that others do not see. If you are employed, there may be an assignment that puts you at the forefront of a crucial stage or that gives you visibility in front of decision makers. If you are an entrepreneur, it is time to professionalize. Clearer processes, defined services, kind metrics, precise communication. The Chariot card reappears from the corner, as if to tell you, move the piece that you are afraid to move. Is it a launch? A price adjustment? A yes to a proposal that requires you to grow? The tarot suggests that the stage will respond when you take the first step. And if resistance shows up, don't worry, the Four of Swords reminds you that resting is also productive. Sleeping well and breathing deeply is not a luxury, it is strategy. In general terms, the emotional climate blends courage and tenderness. I feel a healing with Chiron in your symbolic map, especially in that part of you that always wants to prove something. Healing comes when you no longer need to prove anything. The Nine of Cups, card of fulfilled wishes, sits at the table with you to toast to what you have already achieved and what is to come, but it asks for a small ritual. Write down 3 wishes in the affirmative, concrete, and 3 minimal actions that bring them closer to your day. Not giant, not perfect, not heroic. Small and repeatable. The tarot insists on soft constancy as a master key. At the same time, there is an inverted tower in your reading that does not vibrate destruction, but liberation without chaos. Doing that cleanup you postpone, canceling a subscription you do not use, organizing your workspace, removing contacts from your phone that only drain you. Each orderly closure opens a drawer for the new. For your personal energy, the color that embraces you at this stage is jade green. It is a green that soothes the chest, clears the mind, and magnetizes opportunities. Without fuss. Use it in an accessory, in clothing, in your wallpaper, in a candle. Allow it to remind you that growth can also feel relaxed. Visualize this green surrounding your important conversations and your financial decisions. You will see how you breathe differently. And if you want a support color for communication, lavender softens your tone when you tend to go too fast. It sets your pace, it fine-tunes you. The numbers that knock at your door with significant signals now are 4, 8, 16, 23, and 44. The 4 to remind you of structure and home, the 8 to expand prosperity and leadership, the 16 as a bell of revelations that remove veils, the 23 as a sign of guidance and movement, and the 44 to support you with angels of logistics, that magic that makes everything arrive on time when you are organized. If you see them repeated in tickets, times, addresses, do not force grandiose interpretations. Smile, give thanks, align your body with intention, and move forward. If right now you are wondering about deep affections, there is a more intimate message. The Moon and Venus join hands in your inner waters to ask for rituals of care. Gemini loves conversation, but your heart also needs listening without argument. Walk without music one afternoon. Let your steps think for you. Cook for yourself, even something simple. Light a candle before responding to that difficult message. Write a letter you may never send but that empties your chest. When your inner world feels cared for, your bonds blossom with less effort. And if someone returns with the excuse of nostalgia, the High Priestess looks at you without speaking. You already know. What elevates you feels light. What weighs you down, your body tells you. If I touch the deck again, the Ace of Swords appears cutting away old doubts, a decision that cleanses. It pierces through a pattern that has you going in circles, leaving something unfinished because another brilliant idea arose, entering a project out of enthusiasm and leaving from boredom, saying yes impulsively and then feeling overbooked. The Ace lends you its edge to choose one central priority in the coming weeks. Not because you are less multiple, but because your genius shines more when your focus burns instead of diluting. Dare to choose, which is not losing, but gaining depth. To close this part, I want to gift you a small magical act with temperance as a guide. Water, breath, and word. In the morning, drink a glass of water with intention, take 3 slow breaths, and say softly your daily motto, a single clear phrase. At night, another grateful glass of water, 3 breaths, and 1 closing phrase. This, repeated, steers you into a delightful coherence. What you think, say, and do walking in the same direction. And when that happens, life cooperates in astonishing ways. Write this phrase in the comments as a decree, to anchor everything we have read and so that the universe hears you in chorus. I choose clarity, order, and abundance. My mind and my heart walk together and everything aligns in my favor. Gemini, we reach the 4th and last part of this reading, and the feeling I get is that of a sunrise after a long but revealing night. The deck opens and the first card that appears is the World, closing a cycle with the perfection of a well-drawn circle. This is not just an ending, it is a beginning that comes with the strength of everything you have learned. Your birth chart smiles in sync. There are harmonious aspects between Mercury and Venus that speak of doors closing softly while others open with clarity and purpose. I feel that the last stretch of this cycle brings rewards for every conscious step you took, even for those that seemed small or invisible. The general energy is one of integration. The tarot says that the pieces that once seemed scattered begin to fit together, and that you yourself begin to see yourself with a more complete gaze. You no longer define yourself only by what you do or what you feel at a given moment, but by the way you have learned to navigate between changes and constants. This reading is not just to predict, but to remind you that life has always given you the tools to shape and reinvent yourself. In this final stretch, the Emperor card presents itself as a symbol of structure and personal sovereignty. You have learned that being free does not mean lacking limits, but choosing the ones that support you and allow you to expand without losing yourself. In love, the tarot shows maturity. If you are in a relationship, it is time to consolidate what works and adjust what doesn't, without unnecessary drama. The King of Cups appears to bring emotional stability, and his energy is perfect for sincere conversations that strengthen the bond. Perhaps it is time to plan something together that takes you out of the routine. A trip, a project, or simply a change in the way you spend time together. If you are single, the Ace of Cups closes this series as a blessing. A new emotional beginning is on the horizon, and you will receive it with more calm and less anxiety than in other stages. You are no longer looking to fill voids, you are looking to share abundance, and that changes the whole tone of your relationships. Economically, the Sun illuminates the cards. This announces clarity to make decisions and a sense of relief after resolving an issue that worried you. It is likely that an additional income will appear or that you will manage to finalize an agreement that had been pending for a while. The Ten of Pentacles, symbol of prosperity and legacy, indicates that this is a good time to think about the long term. Investments, savings, or even supporting someone close who can grow thanks to your guidance or resources. If there were recent restrictions, the energy that arrives now feels more fluid, as long as you don't fall into the temptation of spending faster than what comes in. Remember that true abundance is not only having, but knowing how to manage with awareness. At work, the Judgment card marks a calling. You may receive an unexpected proposal, an offer, or a restructuring that forces you to rethink your role. This is not necessarily negative. On the contrary, it is the opportunity to position yourself in a place that better reflects your talents and your value. The tarot invites you to evaluate what part of your professional life is still alive and what is just inertia. The Seven of Wands points out that you may have to defend an idea or position, but if you do it from coherence and not stubbornness, you will come out stronger. This is a good time to present projects, send resumes, or negotiate better conditions if you feel you deserve them. On a personal level, the message is healing. The tarot shows the Hermit one last time, but here he does not come to isolate you, but to remind you that time alone is a sacred resource to renew your energy. In your birth chart, Neptune activates the need for moments of contemplation, to reconnect with silence and with what nourishes your spirit without external demands. Reading, meditating, walking, writing. Any activity that brings you back to yourself will be key at this stage. And although your Gemini nature loves movement and interaction, in this cycle's closure-conscious rest will be your best ally to start the next one with renewed strength. The color that vibrates with you at this point is pearl white. It represents purity, energetic cleansing, and also versatility. Using it, even in small details, will help you project clarity, close what must be closed, and enter the new with a feeling of freshness and openness. Combined with golden touches, it will attract prosperity and balance. The numbers that complete your wheel of luck are 1, 10, 21, and 30. The 1 for clear beginnings, the 10 for successful closures, the 21 as a symbol of integration and achievements, and the 30 as a vibration of expanded communication and valuable connections. Observe them, write them down, and pay attention to when and where they appear. They will be reminders that you are heading in the right direction. To close, the last card I draw is the 9 of Wands. It speaks of resilience, of the strength you have accumulated, and of the wisdom that comes from having overcome challenges. The tarot says not to underestimate what you have learned. Your experience is a powerful resource, and your ability to adapt makes you someone who can always rise again, no matter how many times you have fallen. At this moment, your greatest task is to trust that the seeds you planted will bear fruit, even if you do not yet see the sprouts. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active faith. Gemini, we have traveled together through a journey of revelations, warnings, blessings, and opportunities. This reading closes with a decree that will seal the energy we have worked with. I close cycles with gratitude, I receive the new with confidence, and I let my light guide every step toward my destiny. Write it in the comments and repeat it with intention. In this way, your voice will join the current that carries this message and take it wherever you most need it.